Ladies and gentlemen, the following podcast is set for one episode. Your host from Columbus, Ohio, is Michael Kirk. Welcome to the Outlaw Mudcast. Hello and welcome to the Outlaw Mudcast, your digital audio dirt sheet for all things Super Show. There's only one top story this week: Grand Gathering 5. It is September 21st as I'm recording this. I've just been home for about maybe an hour, probably not even that, coming straight from Grand Gathering 5. Let me go through, in chronological order as best I can, the events, the featured matches, and then I think I'll talk about some of the product releases, other things involving Grand Gathering 5. As far as I know, I've gotten everything. If I've missed something, I apologize. It is quite chaotic, Grand Gathering 5. There are multiple things going on at the same time in a number of cases. I will start Thursday. The opening event of Grand Gathering 5 was a pop-up Thursday 4:30. 27 players played in this pop-up. They had 4 bullet rounds, and then they cut to a top 9. 7 players received a bye into the quarterfinals. The remaining 2 played in a New York Rules match for the final quarterfinal spot. The quarterfinal matches were New York Rules matches. The semifinals matches were steel cage matches. I unfortunately do not have any news about the stipulation used for the finals, if there was a stipulation. Your semifinalists were Chugonomics, who played as the Super Lucha version of Snake Pit, and Doug Smith, just Doug, as Harrietta, the Bearded Diva. The finalists were Funtime Bob, playing as the psychiatrist Luna Bellatrix, and the Enforcer, playing as lukewarm Stephen Houston, with the winner, Funtime Bob. Congratulations to Funtime Bob for winning the opening event of Grand Gathering 5. Thursday night, we have the Press 1P Invitational live at Grand Gathering. 65 players were in this event. There were 6 bullet rounds, and then they cut to a top 25. There were 7 buys and 9 matches to get to a top 16. No stipulations in this opening round with 7 buys. From there, it was a single elimination bracket to the finals. No stipulations. In the quarterfinal round, we had Split as the Uncaged Beast take on the Enforcer, playing as Joe Hendry. We had Le Penguin as Lord Graves take on Google Docs Dan as Gropar the Great and Powerful. We had Bob Dunn as El Cerebro take on Colby Cram as Colby W. Cram. And we had the Great Outdoors as Slime Girl take on Generally Wong as the new version of Generally Wong. The winners: Split, Google Docs Dan, El Cerebro, and the Great Outdoors. Bob Dunn takes on the Great Outdoors in the semifinals. Split takes on Google Docs Dan. The winners meeting in the finals: Split and the Great Outdoors. The Great Outdoors and Bob Dunn had a very long and contentious match. She ends up coming out as the victor and faces off against a waiting Split. This match, not nearly that long. Actually, a pretty short match. Doesn't go past crowd meter 0. The winner winning the Thursday night Press 1P Invitational: Split. Congratulations to Split for taking the Uncaged Beast to victory. As a result, Split is given the ability this weekend to join any championship match that's not the LFF World Heavyweight Championship or an LFF Tag Team Championship. He can just insert himself into the match, or he could change a match stipulation if he wanted. That was Thursday. Friday, we open with the tag team tournament. 18 teams, 36 players, 4 bullet rounds with super diversity. What is super diversity? If multiple teams would make the top cut, but they have just one competitor on the team, they're diversified out. So, for example, let's say 2 teams would make the top cut. One team is El Super Hombre and the Rising Sun. One team is El Super Hombre and EDM. If the first team, El Super Hombre and the Rising Sun, have the better record, they will diversify out the El Super Hombre and EDM team. Even though the teams are not exactly the same, as long as they share a competitor, they will be diversified out if both would make the top cut. While this tournament is going on, we start to have some featured matches. The first featured match is the first in a series of hardcore championship matches. The challenger, the misfit, playing as Mayhem. The champion, the Italian Bambata, champion with Various. This is a ladder match. It ends up going to crowd meter 3. The winner, winning by stopping a finish without a competitor logo or skill requirement with the umbrella hold and rolling a finish that the opponent cannot break out of. Still champion, the Italian Bambata. Congratulations to the Italian Bambata for a successful defense. He ties the record for successful defenses of the LFF Hardcore Championship with Eddie Fury with this win. We also have, at this point, a surprise guest, Swoggle, formerly known as Hornswoggle from WWE, is the guest. He's there to sign autographs, take pictures. We also learned there was going to be a new Swoggle competitor debuting at Grand Gathering 5. Unfortunately, the competitor was not shipped in time, and so Swoggle could not have autographed him. Nobody at Grand Gathering 5 could get their hands on it. As far as I know, last I looked, the new Swoggle is not available on SuperShowTheGame.com either. But Swoggle was there for pictures and autographs, and he was there for quite a long time. This brings us to the top cut of the tag team tournament. They end up cutting to a top 16. All of the matches in the top 16 are New York rules matches. So they start at crowd meter 1, and there are no disqualifications. Then we have the quarterfinal round. In the quarterfinal round, we have the following matches. We have the team of a beater and an eater versus the New Hotness. We have the team of Meep Meep versus the Dangerous Alliance. We have the team of BTS FTW versus Death by Misadventure. And we have the team of Parrot Heads of Pain versus Kongaholics. Your winners moving on, a beater and an eater, Dangerous Alliance, BTS FTW, and Parrot Heads of Pain. There's also a match, unfortunately, I'm not able to catch a lot of. There's a Long Island Heavyweight Championship contender match. In this match, we have Loudmouth Leo Larynx playing as Sticky the Salamander Sailboat, take on Swoggle playing as Swoggle. Very short match, doesn't go past crowd meter 0. The winner, I believe, dominating in the turn rolls, Swoggle. Congratulations to Swoggle for the victory. Not sure when he will get his shot at the Long Island Heavyweight Championship, but who knows? We'll see what happens. Back to the tag team tournament, we reach the semifinal round. In the first match of the semifinal round, we have a beater and an eater. That's the tag team of TVA Commissioner Drew Madsen playing as El Scorpio and Yasmin playing as Runtime Terror take on Michigan's Most Dangerous Alliance. Ricky Riot playing as the original Ricky Riot, and Sean Loeb playing as the new Overdog. The winners advancing to the finals, Dangerous Alliance. In the other semifinal match, we have the Parrot Heads of Pain, the Lethal Endorser playing as Backpack Man, and the Dude playing as the new version of Hallow King, take on BTS FTW. That's the team of Zach Ashley playing as the Maestro, and Simple Chuck playing as Mike Santana. The winners advancing to the finals, BTS FTW. Due to time, the tag team tournament does not conclude on Friday. It ends up concluding Sunday. I'll get to that when we talk about the Sunday events and featured matches. This brings us to the old school Create a Competitor tournament. 69 players are in the tournament. There are 5 bullet rounds, and then we end up cutting to a top 12. Every match is conducted under the Super Lucha rule that you cannot play a finish. A player cannot play a finish if the opponent has not had one turn yet. Now, that's just a turn of any kind. So if they have a turn, their one card they play is stopped. You can hit a finish on them. If they have a turn and they pass, you can play a finish on them. The matches in the top 12 are no disqualification matches. There are 4 buys. This means that after this round of 12, we'll be down to a top 8, a quarterfinal round of 8. In the quarterfinal round of 8, all of the matches are old school steel chain matches. What's an old school steel chain match? Max hand size 6 and no additional drawing or burying. So normally if one player draws 2 or more cards, the other player draws 2 cards. If one player buries 2 or more cards, the other player buries 2 cards. That was not part of the steel chain match, the old school steel chain match. Normally at the start of the match, you'd search for a steel chain card, add to your hand. That's not part of an old school steel chain match. It's just a max hand size of 6. Your matchups in the quarterfinals of the old school CAC are John Polverino playing as the new version of Cactus Sack versus Ref Dave playing as Quadruple H. Just Doug playing as El Gato Sombrio, the new version, versus Funtime Bob playing as Maul. Titan playing as the Unreal American Hunk Homeland versus Simple Chuck playing as Brewmeister, the new Brewmeister. And the SRG Boss playing as the Above Average Warrior versus the Dude playing as El Blanco Diablo. The winners going on to the semifinals are John Polverino, Funtime Bob, Simple Chuck, and the SRG Boss. In the semifinals, all of the matches are old school steel cage matches. This stipulation is exactly like a regular steel cage match, except the hand size, the maximum hand size is greater. It's 8 in the old school instead of 6 in the standard steel cage. In the first semifinal match, we have John Polverino playing as Cactus Sack, taking on Funtime Bob as Maul. In the second semifinal match, we have Simple Chuck as Brewmeister, taking on the SRG Boss as Above Average Warrior. The winners going on to the finals, John Polverino and Simple Chuck. They face off in an old school main event stipulation match. What's an old school main event match? You'll always break out when you roll your 10 skill. That's it. That's all it is. This is a short match. It doesn't go past crowd meter 0. The winner getting to create a competitor in Super Show the Game, John Polverino. Congratulations to John Polverino for winning the old school Create a Competitor tournaments. Simple Chuck for making the finals of the old school Create a Competitor tournament will get a future shot at the LFF Old School Championship. Date and time to be named later. Speaking of the Old School Championship, the next featured match is for the LFF Old School Championship. Again, chronologically, these things could be happening at different times. This is just how I have it in my notes. The challenger, Rambo Apocalypse, playing as Bronsberg. The champion, Funtime Bob, champion with Maul. Standard singles match. It ends up going to crowd meter 1. The winner, new champion, Rambo Apocalypse. Congratulations to Rambo Apocalypse for becoming the LFF Old School Champion. I know they've had a pretty good feud, back and forth, a feud that's meant a lot to both of them. Very happy to see that. Very happy to see what came of this. Congratulations again to Rambo Apocalypse. The next featured match I have, the Hollywood Heavyweight Championship match. The challenger playing as Hot Rod, Titan. The champion playing as the perfect assistant, the prize fighter, Simon Davner. This ends up being a relatively quick match with the winner, still champion, the prize fighter, Simon Davner. It's so quick that the champion decides it's too quick. Let's make it a 2 out of 3 falls match. And so, the winner of the second fall, forcing a third fall, is Titan. The winner of the third fall and new Hollywood Heavyweight Champion is Titan. Congratulations to Titan for making the most of an opportunity given to him by the champion and becoming the new Hollywood Heavyweight Champion. That was Friday. Saturday, we start off with a featured match for the LFF Trios Championship. The challenger, the big guy, playing as the trio version of the big guy. The champion, Bob Dunn, Robert the Brain Dunn, playing as Thinky and the Brains. This match ends up going to crowd meter 1. The winner at crowd meter 1, still champion, Robert the Brain Dunn. Congratulations to the Brain for a successful defense. His next challenger, using Newman's henchman, will be Candyman. Date and time to be named later. Again, congratulations to the Brain for a successful defense. I'll also mention here, big thanks to Robert the Brain Dunn for his work with the new app for running tournaments. This was the first time that app had been used for tournaments of this size, which really taxed the program, really showed off a lot of the vulnerabilities, problems that may need to be worked out. But Bob Dunn did a great job handling those, helping to make sure the tournaments he ran and others were running ran smoothly. So big thanks to Bob Dunn for doing that. This brings us to the LFF Tag Team Championship match. This was a Triad Championship match. Of course, the challengers we knew going in, the team of the SRG BOSS playing as the second version of himself, and Father Light playing as Father Light. We knew about those challengers. The other challengers were named by the two general managers, Candyman of the tag team division, General Manager John Calais of the entire Legendary Fighting Federation. Candyman's pick for the third team in the match was Ms. Southern Belle. General Manager Calais's pick for the third team in the match, himself. So we have Ms. Southern Belle playing as herself, and General Manager John Calais playing as Polly the Pigeon Pacone, the original version. This is the second team of challengers. The champions, the higher class tag team. Colby Cram playing as Raven, and because his partner, the Grump, could not be there, substituting for the Grump, playing as hardcore Alexander Slambleton, John Polverino. John Press 1P, newly in the higher class due to a defeat to General Manager Clace, I believe, if I'm remembering the story correctly. He substitutes in, and they square off these three teams in a tag team match that ends up going all the way to crowd meter 6. We have some close calls. In the end, though, the winning team, still champions, Colby Cram and his higher class partner, subbing in for the Grump, John Polverino. Congratulations to the higher class tag team for successfully retaining the LFF Tag Team Championship. This brings us to the Grand Gathering World Championship Tournament. 81 players play in this tournament, 5 bullet rounds to a top cut. While this is going on, we have some featured matches. First, we have a match for the Midwest Coast Championship. The challenger who donated the most money to the animal charity chosen by General Manager James Booker, the Meeple playing as the Meeple's champion. The champion playing as the bad boy Joey Janela, Ref Dave. Their match ends up going to crowd meter 1. The winner at crowd meter 1, new Midwest Coast champion, the Meeple. Congratulations to the Meeple for becoming the new Midwest Coast champion. After this match, James Booker announces his resignation from being general manager of the Midwest Coast region. Former general manager Colin the Chrononaut, Colin Simon, once again assumes the office of the general manager. He's back to being general manager of the Midwest Coast. He makes one demand. He requests that Kentucky, the state of Kentucky, be moved from the Deep South to the Midwest Coast. That request is granted. Kentucky is now part of the Midwest Coast region, so we gain player of the era Kirk Polka, we gain Alexander Slamilton, we gain the Grim Librarian, we gain the Hallow King, we gain Harvey Luster for the ladies, Anarchy Sun, big acquisition for the Midwest Coast. Speaking of the Deep South, they then have their Deep South Championship match. The challenger, Father Light, playing as Father Light. The champion, Simple Chuck, champion with Johnny Career. Relatively long match, ends up going to crowd meter 3. The winner, still champion, Simple Chuck. Congratulations to Simple Chuck for successfully defending the Deep South Championship. Back to the World Championship Tournament. After the bullet rounds, there's a cut to a top 32. No stipulation for the matches in the top 32. We then go to the top 16. All of the matches in the top 16, steel cage matches. While this is going on, we have a defense of the LFF Old School Championship. The challenger, the big guy playing as Rhino, who's won, I believe, the last couple of SRG1 Climax events. That's why he's getting this shot. He is challenging champion General Lee Wong, champion with Kenzie Page. This match ends up going to crowd meter 2. The winner at crowd meter 2, still champion, General Lee Wong. Congratulations to General Lee Wong for a successful defense. His next challenger, playing as Jigsaw, will be TVA Commissioner Drew Madsen. This brings us back to the top 8 of the Grand Gathering World Championship Tournament. We have a little story time with General Manager John Clace. He asks the players in the top 8 various trivia questions to help determine the seeding in the end. Top 8 player, the cannoli, gets to pair all of the matches in the top 8. No stipulation. Those matchups are yours truly. I'm in the top 8 with Mac Attack. I face James Booker playing as the foil version of Macho Manny. I believe that's the online league winning version of Macho Manny. That's the first top 8 match. In the second top 8 match, we have Ricky Riot as original Ricky Riot versus John Polverino as the Super Lucha version of Snake Pit. In the third match, we have the Cannoli playing as Bartholomew Hook take on 12 Grat Matt as the old school version of Cyclone. And we have HR as Faye Dragon take on Rhaegar Dragon God playing as TVA Commissioner Drew Madsen. Your winners, HR, 12 Grat Matt, John Polverino, and yours truly. I advance to the top 4 of the World Championship Tournament. Now, because I'm in the top 4, there are featured matches and other things going on. That, unfortunately, I'm not able to cover as best as I normally would be able to because I'm in this. So let me give you the results I have from what was going on while I was in the top of the tournament. We have a defense of the Intergalactic Championship. The challenger, the Lucha Maniacal Uberstar, playing as himself, takes on champion Zach Ashley, champion with Luna House. This match goes to Crowd Meter 1, the winner, successfully defending the belt. Zach Ashley, congratulations to Zach for a successful defense. We have the second in a series of LFF Hardcore Championship matches. This was a Ring of Fire match. The challenger, James Booker, playing as the Pretzel Wizard. The challenger, originally supposed to be the Tartan Terror. Tartan Terror could not make Grand Gathering 5. James Booker steps in, takes his place. He takes on champion, the Italian Bombata, champion with Various. The winner, not sure which crowd meter, still champion, the Italian Bombata. Congratulations once again for a successful defense. Back to the World Championship Tournament. We've reached the semifinal round. The pairings end up being, in steel chain matches, HR as the Faye Dragon versus 12 Grat Matt as Cyclone, and John Polverino as new Super Lucha Snake Pit versus myself as Mac Attack. The winners advancing to the finals, 12 Grat Matt and yours truly. I advance to the finals. While this is going on, a Super Lucha event launches. Very small event, 8 players, 3 bullet rounds cutting to a top 4. In the first match of the semifinals, we have Chugonomics playing as Mofa versus Dangerous Dylan Bias playing as the Super Lucha version of El Super Hombre. In the second match, we have everyone's enemy Joel Williams playing as Draculina and Calliope, taking on Jared Bridge as Mrs. Marigold. The winners advancing to the finals, Dangerous Dylan Bias and everyone's enemy. No stipulation in this finals match from what I understand. Not sure what crowd meter, and my notes are a little unclear here, but I believe the winner is Dangerous Dylan Bias. I apologize if I'm wrong. Congratulations to the winner, but I'm pretty sure the winner was Dangerous Dylan Bias. Honorable mention to everyone's enemy for making the finals. This brings me to one of the biggest featured matches of the weekend. One of a possible series of 2 matches. The LFF Underworld Championship. Candyman Dan is getting his shot in a whole of 1 or 2 series of matches. Candyman Dan walked in to Grand Gathering 5 with 2 shots at the LFF Underworld Championship. His first shot is going to be with Sherry Von Danish. If he wins, he becomes champion. If he loses, he gets a second shot. That shot with Eva Firecat from Ikuzel. The first match is a Ring of Fire match. Of course, Candyman Dan, the challenger. The champion, Brian Wait For It Schmidt, champion with Deathmatch King Matt Cardona. But there's a twist, because He won. Thursday night, Press 1P Invitational, split. Gets to insert himself in any championship match outside of the tag and the World Heavyweight Championship. He joins the LFF Underworld Championship match. It becomes a triad Ring of Fire match. Ring of Fire was what it was going to be as part of the Hole in 1 or 2 series. It's now a triad Ring of Fire match split, coming in using the Uncaged Beast as his competitor. It also becomes an elimination Ring of Fire triad match. Usually these matches are first fall. Whoever scores the first fall via pinfall, submission, or in the case of Ring of Fire, the special finish wins the match. In this case, when one player takes the first fall, loses, the remaining 2 keep playing. Whoever wins out of the remaining 2 wins the match, wins the championship. The first player to be eliminated via special finish at Crowd Meter 1, split. Last man in, due to winning on Thursday, first man out. So it comes down to the champion and the original challenger. The winner eliminating his opponent via special finish, being set on fire. Also at Crowd Meter 1, new LFF Underworld Champion, Candyman Dan. Congratulations to Candyman Dan for becoming the new LFF Underworld Champion. The second shot, not needed, able to get it done with Sherry Von Danish. While this was going on, earlier than this happened earlier, but I did not get it in my notes until just now. The Super Show Olympics gold, silver, and bronze medal presentations happened at Grand Gathering 5. There were 2 teams in contention for the gold medal in this last period of the Super Show Olympics. The team captained by the GOAT Brock Smith and the team captained by Hold the Lion Harry. They ended up going 6-6 with 1 match remaining, which was streamed Monday night, a main event stipulation match with Evil Ed the Cheesehead as the Uncaged Beast from Hold the Line Harry's team versus the GOAT Brock Smith playing as Candice LeRae from his own team. The match goes to Crowd Meter 2 with the winner securing a final record of 7-6 for his team, securing the gold medal for his team, the GOAT Brock Smith. Congratulations to the GOAT for winning the gold medal. So we have in third place for the Super Show Olympics, Colin the Chrononauts team. In second place, silver medals, Hold the Line of Harry's team, and the gold medal winners, the GOAT Brock Smith's team. Those are the 3 teams that secured gold, silver, and bronze medals for themselves. There was also a Super Show Olympics MVP. There were 2 players who went 8-0 through the Super Show Olympics. Those players were Chibi and the LFF Chiropractor. They squared off on Monday. The match went to Crowd Meter 1. The winner becoming the Super Show Olympics MVP, the LFF Chiropractor, Dr. Pollywood. Congratulations to the LFF Chiropractor for becoming the MVP. That was the Super Show Olympics Awards. This brings us to the Grand Gathering 5 World Championship Tournament Finals. It's an all Buckeye Championship Wrestling Finals. We have 12 Grat Matt playing as the old school version of Cyclone, and we have Michael Kirk, me, playing as Mac Attack. No stipulations for this finals. Actually a pretty low-key finals match. Most people were watching the LFF Underworld Championship, so we kind of flew under the radar. The match ends up going to Crowd Meter 1. The winner at Crowd Meter 1, winning the Grand Gathering 5 World Championship Tournaments, me, Michael Kirk. I win the tournament. I'm very happy to have won this tournament. I didn't think I was going to win. I started the tournament out with 2 losses. I felt a third was looming. I almost felt like throwing in the towel. You know, I've been very stressed out at a lot of these events because I feel like I have to win to hopefully win my way out of being banned from title shots. And after going 0-2 in this tournament, I was feeling kind of down. I felt like if I lost, if I bombed out the rest of the way, I was just going to shut it down for the tournament, for the day, maybe even for the weekend. Because I just felt like I was in an impossible situation. I felt like I'm stressing myself out. I feel awful if I lose. And then if I win, I don't get a title shot. I don't get anything out of this. So what's the point? But I decided I'd just get through it, grit it out, and it worked out. I went undefeated from that point on, and I ended up winning the tournament. Second World Championship tournament I won. I won Gen Con a couple of years back, and now I've won Grand Gathering 5. I'm happy I stuck it out. I'm happy I kept going. I don't know if this will lead to anything. I don't know if I'll get a title shot out of this. I don't think I'm going to get it unbanned. I don't know if the general manager considers me World Championship material to where he'd even consider giving me a shot. We'll have to see. But I'm happy to have won the tournament. I did get a nice little trophy for winning. I will hold on to that. I will keep that. And I'm happy I won the tournament. Thank you to everyone who came along and congratulated me. I appreciate that. And I don't really have anything else to say. Let's move on. Let's go ahead and move on to the next featured match for the LFF Triad Championship. And this is a good time to talk about our second guest of Grand Gathering 5. Friday we had Swoggle, who was a surprise guest. Saturday we had the announced guest, Brian Cage. Now, there was also supposed to be a Super Lucha version of Brian Cage, the Swolverine Brian Cage debuting at Grand Gathering 5. That also did not show up for the tournament. It was listed for $25 on supershowthegame.com. So if you want to pick one up, you can do so. They, last I looked, were available on the website. While he's there signing autographs, taking pictures, he also is put in a triad match for the LFF Triad Championship. We have Brian Cage as King Brian Cage. He's the first challenger. We have Dangerous Dylan Bias as Stylo. He's the second challenger. And we have the GOAT Brock Smith, the champion, playing as the second version of the GOAT Brock Smith. This triad match ends up going to Crowd Meter 2. The winner at Crowd Meter 2, new LFF Triad champion, Brian Cage. Congratulations to Brian Cage for becoming the LFF Triad champion. No idea when he might defend again, but he is the current reigning and defending LFF Triad champion. Next featured match, the Deep Six Championship match. This is the championship where the champion and challenger can have no more than 6 stop cards in the deck. The challenger here, the Cheetah, playing as Kaiser Wolf. The champion, John Polverino, champion with Brutus Bison. They square off in a Beast Unchained match. This match does not go past Crowd Meter 0. The winner, still champion, John Polverino. Congratulations to John Polverino for a successful defense. This brings us to the grand battle. We have 81 players by my count in the grand battle match. 14 groups to start. 11 groups of 6 players, 3 groups of 5 players. They face off in the new bump-in version of the grand battle match. Same crowd meter as before, but with bump-in rules, if multiple players roll the highest turn roll value, instead of bumping out to 0, they essentially all get to draw and take a turn. They just cannot play cards against players that also bumped in. I will say, by my perception, this was a faster grand battle than the bump out grand battles of the past. That is how it felt to me. Unfortunately, I did not get to play in it long. I like this format, but last couple of years, I have not been able to have a long tenure in there. Very much a shame because I don't get to play this really outside of Grand Gathering. Only one player from each of the 14 groups would advance. So we go from 81 down to 14 after the opening rounds. In the first of the 3 groups, we have the following players in no particular order. The Flame Fighter, Candyman Dan, Big Match Pete, the Cannoli, and the Prize Fighter Simon Dabner. That's the first group in the second round of the Grand Battle. The second group, Ricky Riot, the Goat Brock Smith, Ref Dave, James Booker, and Uncle Brad. The third group, Grim Librarian, HR, the Starbreaker Trey Cantrell, and Headband Champion Matt Nealon. Those are the 3 groups in the second round. The winners, only the winner advances to the finals. The winners are Big Match Pete, Ricky Riot, and the Starbreaker Trey Cantrell. While this is going on, we have a defense of the LFF Tri-State Tag Team Championship. This championship is competed for using New York rules, no disqualifications, starts at crowd meter 1. The challengers, the tag team of John Polverino, playing as Sticky the Salamander Sailboat, and Google Docs Dan, playing as the Kickstarter version, I believe, of D3. The champions, Boom Pool. The Italian Bombata, playing as Slime Girl. Brian, wait for it, Schmidt, playing as Mike Santana. This match ends up going to crowd meter 4. The winners at crowd meter 4, still champion, Boom Pool. Congratulations to the Bombata and Schmidt for a successful defense. This brings me to the finals of the Grand Battle. We have Big Match Pete playing as Johnny T versus Ricky Ryan as Big Bad Bobby D versus Trey Cantrell, the Starbreaker, playing as Candyman. The match goes to crowd meter 5. The first player eliminated at crowd meter 5, Big Match Pete. So it comes down to Ricky Riot versus Trey Cantrell, the Starbreaker, the winner, getting, I believe, a future shot at the LFF World Heavyweight Championship, Ricky Riot. Congratulations to Ricky Riot for winning the Grand Gathering 5 Grand Battle match. And since we just finished up talking about the Grand Battle match, let me mention this briefly. Before the Grand Battle match, as always, we have the Grand Battle entrances. The final entrance in this year's Grand Battle for factions was from The Mission. And we received an announcement that Mission member Ms. Southern Belle, a.k.a. the Keeper of the Light, a.k.a. Jennifer Briggs, is retiring from Super Show play. Ms. Southern Belle, former LFF World Heavyweight Champion, almost the LFF Tag Team Champion earlier Saturday, came close, walking away. It's been a great career. And you know what? Ms. Southern Belle, you're always welcome back anytime you want to play, even if it's just for kicks. Everyone would love to see you come back. I don't know if this means we won't see you at conventions like Origins or Gen Con or Grand Gathering. I hope that's not the case. I always enjoy seeing everyone at these things, and that includes Ms. Southern Belle. Next up, the Cookies Fortune Tournament Finals. We have the Underworld bracket winner, Colin the Chrononaut, playing as Colin the Chrononaut, versus the World bracket winner, Zach Ashley, playing as TVA Commissioner Drew Madsen. This is a 2 out of 3 falls match with different stipulations per fall. In the first fall, a ladder match. Going to crowd meter 1, we have winning that fall, Zach Ashley. In the second match, going to crowd meter 3, a little longer this time, lumberjack match, taking the second fall, Zach Ashley. Zach Ashley wins the Cookies Fortune Tournament. He has the ability to cash in the Cookies Fortune for a title shot of his choosing whenever he wants. Not sure when that will happen, not sure where that will happen, but he has that in his back pocket in case he needs it. We also had the final event of the evening, the Dosmo Deck Challenge. The Dosmo Deck Challenge going on while all of these featured matches are going on, while the finals of the Grand Battle is going on. This is simply a draft event, but in addition to the competitors that are drafted and the 1 through 27 deck that's drafted, each player at sign up for Grand Gathering 5 received a package of 2 competitors. They could use those 2 competitors along with the competitors they drafted to pick the competitor and finishes they would use in the Dosmo Deck Challenges. Here's the twist. You cannot use the competitor set of the competitor you're playing. So, for example, let's say you have the ability to pick between El Super Hombre, Snake Pit, and the Rising Sun. If you decide to use the Rising Sun as your competitor, you cannot use his finishes. You must either use Snake Pit's finishes or El Super Hombre's finishes. It must be one competitor and a different set of finishes. You cannot mix the sets. It must be all 3 finishers from one competitor. And then it's just your normal draft pod, round robin, and then prize draft. I don't have numbers on how many players signed up. I didn't keep track of who won each pod. There was no advancement. You just played in your pod, won, and then players drafted prizes after the 3 matches were completed. They were pods of 4. 2 more featured matches for Saturday. We had the LFF Tornado Tag Team Contender match. The champion, Nick Nemesis, unable to be at Grand Gathering 5. So instead, the featured Tornado Tag Team match was for a shot at the championship held by Nick Nemesis. We have in this match Sam Torres playing as the Betrayal, taking on Headband champion Matt Nealon playing as DTF, the Tornado Tag Team featuring himself and Funtime Bob, double the fun. The match ends up going to crowd meter 3, the winner getting a future shot at the LFF Tornado Tag Team Championship. Matt Pineapple, congratulations to Matt Nealon for taking double the fun and getting himself a shot at the championship. The final featured match of Saturday, a UCW championship match. The challenger, Colin the Chrononaut, playing as his creation, Zombie. The champion, the Italian Bambata, champion with Forget About It. The match ends up going to crowd meter 2. The winner successfully defending the Italian Bambata. Congratulations to the Italian Bambata for a successful defense. Sunday. We have one event on Sunday, the scramble event. 38 players played in this event. There were 3 verticals: a singles vertical, a tornado tag team vertical, and a trios vertical. You signed up for the event with 1 deck in each of those verticals. At the start, everyone was in the app. The app paired up everyone. Players chose if they wanted to start off the singles match, the tornado, or the trio. They then played the match they wanted to do. After that, the app paired people up going forward in either the singles match, the tornado tag, or the trio if they had not been eliminated. It was single elimination. If you lost a match in a vertical, you were done in that vertical. You went and played one of the other 2. If you lost a match in all 3, you were out. You had to win a certain number of matches to make the top cut. I don't have a lot of details about the top cut. While this was going on, we had a number of featured matches. We also had the finals of the Friday tag team event. The opening event finals completed during the final event. In this event, we had Dangerous Alliance, Ricky Riot playing as original Ricky Riot, and the Collector Sean Loeb playing as new Overdog, taking on BTS FTW. Zach Ashley playing as the Maestro, Simple Chuck playing as Mike Santana. This was a relatively short match. It doesn't go past crowd meter 0. The winners rolling a 10 at crowd meter 0 that their opponents could not break out of. BTS FTW. Congratulations to BTS FTW for winning the Grand Gathering 5 Tag Team Tournament. We have the LFF United States Championship match happen while the final scramble's going on. The challenger, Yasmin, challenging with Bookermania, takes on champion Ref Dave, champion with Piglet. This match ends up going to crowd meter 3. The winner, new champion, Yasmin. Congratulations to Yasmin for becoming the LFF United States champion. We have a defense of the Intergalactic Championship. The challenger, HR, playing as the new version of Copycat, takes on champion Zach Ashley, champion with Luna Hallows. The winner at crowd meter 2, second successful defense of the weekend, Zach Ashley. Congratulations for successfully defending the Intergalactic Championship. While this is going on, there is an announcement regarding the Super Lucha Championship. The inaugural Super Lucha Championship match is going to be a triad match. Due to performances in various tournaments, the following players will be in that inaugural championship match. We will have John Polverino using the Super Lucha version of Snake Pit versus Bob Dunn using El Cerebro versus the headband champion Matt Nealon using Draculina and Calliope. No date or time for this yet, but that will be your inaugural Super Lucha Championship match. We have the third LFF Hardcore Championship match in the series. This one, a Derby dog collar match between General Lee Wong, playing as Evil Ironheart, and the champion, the Italian Mambata, playing as Various. This was a long crowd meter 3 match. The winner at crowd meter 3, successfully defending all 3 matches this weekend, becoming the record holder for the most defenses as champion, the Italian Mambata. Congratulations to the Italian Mambata. His next challenger will be the previous record holder, Eddie Fury. Looking forward to that match. 2 great champions squaring off for the LFF Hardcore Championship. We have a defense of the LFF Deep 6 Championship. The New York Phenom, playing as the New York Phenom, gets a shot against champion John Pulverino, champion with Brutus Bison. It's a main event stipulation match. It goes to crowd meter 1. The winner, still champion, John Pulverino. Congratulations for a successful defense. We have another Deep South Championship match. The challenger here, the Grim Librarian, as the second version of the Grim Librarian. He is taking on champion Simple Chuck, champion with Johnny Correa. This was a long match. It goes to crowd meter 3. The winner, new champion, the Grim Librarian. Congratulations to the Grim Librarian for a successful defense. I have my first result from Scramble match. In the singles vertical finals, we have Colby Cram as Colby W. Cram versus Pride as the prize fighter, with the winner taking it at crowd meter 2, the chosen one, Colby Cram. Congratulations for winning the singles scramble. We have a somewhat impromptu LFF Underworld Championship match. 12 Grat Matt, the runner-up from the World Championship Tournament, playing as Ricochet, takes on newly crowned champion Candyman Dan, champion with Sherry Von Danish. From what I understand, this was a very short match. It didn't go past crowd meter 0. The winner winning, I believe, all but one of the turns. New champion, 12 Grat Matt. Congratulations to 12 Grat Matt for becoming the new LFF Underworld champion. At this point, we actually have the start of the LFF World Heavyweight Championship, but I'm going to skip that match for a second and talk about another match that was going on during it. A second match for the LFF Global Championship. In this match, we have challenger TVA Commissioner Drew Madsen challenging with Jigsaw, taking on champion General Lee Wong, champion with Kenzie Page. This was a no disqualification match. A bit of controversy here, because from what I understand, the champion was not made aware that it was a no disqualification match until literally a moment in the match where a disqualification card was stopped, and rather than the match ending at that moment, was informed it was a no disqualification match. Which, never good. That's not communicated if that is correct. The match continues, though. It goes all the way to crowd meter 2. The winner at crowd meter 2, new LFF Global Champion, Commissioner Drew Madsen. Congratulations to Drew Madsen for becoming the new champion. I'll also take a minute and recognize the incredible long tenure of the former champion, General Lee Wong. He had a long tenure. That tenure will not be forgotten anytime soon. Thanks to him, congratulations to Drew Madsen. I'll go ahead and give you the rest of the scrambles results that I have. I have a trios result. In the finals, we have the Italian Bambata as the Good, the Bad, and the Whiskey, taking on the Cheetah as Team Valiant. The winner, the Italian Bambata. Congratulations to the Italian Bambata for winning the Trios Scramble Finals. The Italian Bambata, who is also the Trios General Manager, decides to give his opponent, the Cheetah, a future shot at the LFF Trios Championship. So congratulations to the Cheetah for earning a championship shot. The other Scramble Finals match for the Tornado Tag Scramble will happen at some point, date and time to be named later, between Simple Chuck and the Starbreaker Trey Cantrell. They are the finalists. They are local TVA players. I imagine they will play that in person, likely stream it at some point in the future. Just do not know when that will be. And now we'll get to the final match at Grand Gathering 5. the LFF World Heavyweight Championship match. We knew going in that the champion was the prizefighter Simon Davner, champion with loudmouth Leo Larynx. We knew that his opponent was his longtime faction mate from Star Maker Productions, the Star Maker himself, Everett Stevens. We had a third player added to the match, the Collector, Sean Loeb, also challenged for the championship with the original version of the Memes Dealer. And then we had a fourth man added to the match, the Collector's longtime tag team partner in Dangerous Alliance, Ricky Riot, joining with the new version of Theo the Greek Neo. A fatal four-way championship match. First fall wins the whole thing. This was a long, hard-fought match. We almost had a moment where Sean Loeb was champion. He hits the finish on the Star Maker. The Star Maker cannot break out even with save rolls after the third breakout roll, but he has rolling in with the Ring General as his entrance. He rolls for a fourth and final breakout roll. Sean Loeb's partner in Dangerous Alliance, Ricky Riot, helps, makes the save roll. It's successful. The Star Maker breaks out. Sean Loeb had his hand raised as the new champion, only to have it taken away, and the match continue. It ends up going all the way to crowd meter 8. The winner, surviving the odds, 1 against 3, successfully defends the LFF World Heavyweight Championship. The prizefighter Simon Davner walks out of Grand Gathering 5 still LFF World Heavyweight Champion. Congratulations to the prizefighter. This is almost certainly going to be a shoo-in for the best match of the year. They ended up making it go all the way to crowd meter 8. They added pluses to the crowd meter, past crowd meter 5. They eliminated save rolls at crowd meter 8 for the first 2 breakout rolls. And amidst all this chaos, the prizefighter able to walk out as champion. Congratulations to the prizefighter. That wraps up, from what I understand, the event featured matches at Grand Gathering 5. There was an LFF Tri-State interim championship match that happened. From what I understand, I did not see this. Sam Torres won. So he's the current LFF interim Tri-State champion, or interim LFF Tri-State champion, probably the better way to say it. He will face the actual champion, Carlos Lumbre, at some point in the future. Not sure when he'll take on El Hombre Cybernetico, but looking forward to that match. Again, those were the events and featured matches. Product news. So this was kind of a weird situation for product. Normally, there's a big product release. We see a bunch of competitors available for sale. We see a bunch of potentially featured cards. The big product release, from what I saw there, was the new Grand Packs. Those were the big product releases. The new Grand Packs and the sealed Super Lucha competitors. There are 15 Super Lucha competitors in these sealed packs. I want to say the packs are around $9 a piece for each of these competitors. 15 competitors, by my count, are in these packs. Let me give you the list of 15 competitors that I have. This is in no particular order. There are 2 rare competitors. From what I understand, 2 of the competitors are rarer than the other 13. Those two competitors are Draculina and Calliope. That's the first competitor. And Vic de Doom. Those are the two rares. The others are the Wolf Guardian, El Jabroni, Cringe T, El Leon de Lahore, Saint Macho, the Collector, the Phoenix, Ninja Hummingbird, El Cerebro, Young Meeple, Mrs. Marigold, Mr. Soleil, and El Ganso Russo. Those are the 15 competitors in the new Super Lucha blind sealed competitor packs. They come with the competitor card and the 3 finishers. Going from memory, those were $9 a piece and 6 for $50 at Grand Gathering 5. Not sure if it's the same on the website. Of course, I talked about the Grand Packs. The Grand Packs have a number of new competitors. The cards are pretty much reprints, popular reprints. They are marked that they're Grand Pack Wave 3. So they are marked distinctly from other cards. Let me bring this up too while I'm thinking about it. One thing that was brought to my attention is in regard to 3 follow-ups at 16, 17, and 18. Savor the Moment, The Crowd Pleaser, and You're Not Ready. Those cards in the game prior to the new Grand Packs, they have roughly the following text, a little different for each one. I'll talk about that difference when I get to it. But they say the following: search your deck or discard pile for Enjoy Everything and add it to your hand. I'm reading Savor the Moment here. For the number 17, this is the follow-up strike number 16, Savor the Moment. For the number 17, the Crowd Pleaser, you're searching for Getting Over. For number 18, You're Not Ready, you're searching for Ready to Rumble. But just reading the number 16, search your deck or discard pile for Enjoy Everything and add it to your hand. You may play that card as an additional card this turn. If you have Enjoy Everything in play, your opponent's gimmick is blank. There are a number of those cards that came out in the Grand Pack that have different wording than what is on these cards. The new wording is the following: search your deck or discard pile for Enjoy Everything and add it to your hand, or you may play that card as an additional card this turn. If you have Enjoy Everything in play, your opponent's gimmick is blank. So, with these newer cards, if you play Savor the Moment, you can either go get Enjoy Everything and play it later, or if you already have it in your hand, you can play it then. But you cannot go get it out of the deck or discard pile and then play it according to this new wording. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a change to the previous cards, if they're going to errata the previous cards to make them have the new text, or if the new text is a mistake and they'll errata those to be like the text, or if they'll both be legal but play as printed. I expect we'll have an announcement next week about it, but I wanted to bring that up in case people notice that. That was a big thing with the products. Other product things I saw there, there's a new gold standard I talked about that were for the first 50 people who bought tickets. They also made those available for sale. On the last day of Grand Gathering 5, they released some of the Rosa Super Lucha competitors. This was a potential stretch goal that was unfulfilled from the campaign. We did not reach the stretch goal, so it wasn't unlocked, but they did sell those on the last day of Grand Gathering 5. And then there were a few new competitors you could pick up here in the a la carte. Grim Cringe. I saw Yasmin. Those were the two there were a bunch of. At various times throughout the day, there were some single ones I saw. Moonstar, the Starbreaker, Jax, just going from memory. It wasn't like when you go to a convention and they have the new releases all like set up on display. So here's all these new competitors, here's all these. It was mostly just you'd see one or two copies on the table at any given time. I don't know if you have to ask for them. I always do ask when I go to these things, what's new, what came out. None of that stuff was presented to me. So I don't know if they just had a bunch of them behind the counter and you should have asked if you knew what you were asking about. That's what I saw as far as competitors go. They had the Super Lucha Kickstarters and the comic Kickstarters there. I mentioned on a previous show about the printing of the comic books in a larger size. They did bring the bigger comic books and give those to people who had pledged the campaign and gotten those things. You got those there. I don't know if that means you're not getting the smaller versions or if they will also ship the smaller versions to you, but they had the Super Lucha Kickstarters there for pickup, and they had the comic Kickstarters there for pickup. They also had some of the Super Lucha box sets and solo mode box sets available for sale if you wanted to buy a box set and you didn't have one, or you had the Kickstarter and you wanted to get an additional one. That's roughly the product news coming out of Grand Gathering 5. I'll talk about a couple of other things from Grand Gathering 5. They had Candy Shop Talk live Saturday night. I stayed, I watched it, enjoyed it. Not as strange as last year. I think last year, Grand Gathering 4's Candy Shop Talk Live is legendary. This was good, but it didn't live up to Grand Gathering 4's Candy Shop Talk Live. We'll have to see about Grand Gathering 6. As far as the watch party goes, it was pretty much a bust. They did show the All Out, the AEW pay-per-view on the projector. No sound, just the video. They didn't show any WWE on the screen, so there basically was no watch party for WrestlePalooza. So they'd been talking about that. That really didn't happen. I want to go ahead and thank the Flame Fighter. The Flame Fighter really helped me keep track of things. He came up to me multiple times to give me match results, to make me aware that matches were happening. So I want to give special thanks to the Flame Fighter, who streamed a few matches on his Twitch channel as well. Check those out if you didn't see them. Big thank you to him for helping me with what was going on with all the chaos that is Grand Gathering 5. Overall, I had a good time at Grand Gathering 5. I mentioned earlier the stress I had. I kind of let that go and managed to have a pretty good Grand Gathering 5 overall. I enjoy seeing everyone there. I got to see a lot of people I hadn't seen in a long time. Helped chase some autographs down. You guys know I love the autograph hunt. And it's just great seeing everyone there. You know, we interact online. It feels like we know each other to a great degree, but we just never really get to hang out and spend time in person. And so it's great when we get to come together at things like Grand Gathering 5 and do that. I'm looking forward to the next big thing, which is going to be Miso Mania, October 11th in Louisville, Kentucky. Miso's Game Room and Collectibles. I will be there covering it. I'm looking forward to seeing a bunch of you there, especially those that were not able to make it to Grand Gathering 5. Let me also thank Jeremy Steigerwald. He did run an RPG based on Super Show the game. I think it was a Marvel superheroes RPG, but using Super Show characters. From what I heard, that went well. That also reminds me about the Super Show, the Major Wrestling Edition Kickstarter, because that's going to be joint with the WrestleVania Symphony of the Fight Kickstarter. That's an RPG too. That Kickstarter launched on Tuesday. I'm going to make a separate standalone Kickstarter campaign episode. Look for that to come out in the next day or two after this. This is already a long episode. I think we will cover that on a special supplemental episode of the Outlaw Mudcast. I will try to get that to you sooner rather than later. But the Kickstarter campaign has launched. It has met its first funding goal. It has been fully funded. Unless people drop, everyone that pledged should get the Major Wrestling box set product they pledged money to get. As far as other events, I only have one Monday Night Fights Open Division Tournament. 8 players, 4 bullet rounds. They cut to a top 5. 3 players received byes to the semifinals. The other 2 battled it out for the last spot in the semifinals. There was a finals match and a third place match. Both of those used the steel chain stipulation. Your top 4 were in 4th place, playing as Ricky Riot. I believe the original version, Ricky Riot himself. In 3rd place, playing as the Grapple +1 version of Terror Skull, TVA Commissioner Drew Madsen. In 2nd place, playing as the Wiser Wizard, Titan, and the winner of Monday Night Fights, playing as Chibi himself. Congratulations to Chibi for winning Monday Night Fights. Chibi also ran something, I would say casual, impromptu Thursday. He could not be at Grand Gathering 5, so he ran a 4-player Claim the Throne match. Mr. Ron Rumble won that Claim the Throne match. Congratulations to him for winning that. As far as what's coming up for next week, I'm not sure if we're going to have Monday Night Fights. A lot of people will still be traveling. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. They haven't announced it. Tuesday, I would expect Dojo, twitch.tv/SRGuniverse. Not sure if Candy Shop Talk is doing anything Friday. Not sure if they're doing anything on the Big Picture Premium Twitch channel for Ignite or Stacked Card. I expect we will have a Chibi's Thursday Night Fights or some event like that. And then just watch the SRG discussion group on Facebook. Watch SuperShowTheGame.com. For products, we may see the new Swoggle come out. Watch for events. And again, Misomania October 11th. With that being said, that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Outlaw Mudcast. I'd like to thank all of you for listening, and good day.